also very painful. I mean, you can...
So,
I want to, just for the sake of accuracy, interject. When they were decapitating people during the French Revolution, one of the things that they did was hold, this is kind of gory, sorry, hold up the head, and the head would actually blink. So these people were actually aware of the fact that they had been decapitated. And I'm not suggesting that it's just decapitation. I'm just saying, imagine for a moment, you're one of the Hebrews with it, right? And you've been tasked by God to kill a small child. And that's the only order you have, is God says, kill this child.
Now,
because he belongs to a tribe that's inhabiting this land.
You can't actually make that choice.
Would you?
You're in that position. Now, it's kind of like how women tell you that you would.
Maybe they should have been.
Position to truly have a view on it. Now, decapitation, you said they held up the head. Now, the nerves still work when a person dies for a little bit. So when them eyes were blinking, the nerves were still working, but the soul was probably gone. Now, I've never been decapitated, so I can't actually tell you.
Okay, well, let's just get off the topic of decapitation, because that's tangential to the main argument I'm making. I'm not going to let you get away with this so easily, with all due respect. If you were a member of the Hebrew army of the time, and asked by God to kill the children of Jericho, as is written in the Bible, would you?
Well, you have to realize that if I were living back in the Hebrew time, back in the time that you're talking about, I would probably have different moral views than what I do now. Views have passed differently through time. Back then, it probably wasn't as viewed as bad to kill children or anything. But when these Hebrews were commanded by God, which I don't even know what verse you're citing or anything, but as far as I know, anytime a person has been told by God to kill people, it's been like the Crusades. You can't actually verify that God told them to do that. Now, could you please tell me what verse you're talking about so I can look at it really quick?
Yeah, actually I can give you several. Are you ready? In fact, I'm going to give you a few of them, and then I'll let you write them down, because even after the debate, I just want you to take a look at them and then try to justify them. So, verses 20 through 21, God helps the Israelites destroy Jericho, killing men, women, children, young and old, cattle, sheep, and donkeys. Numbers 31. Verses 7 through 18. The Israelites kill all the Midianites except for the virgins, which they take as spoils of war. What would that be like? A young woman living in Midian defeat your countrymen and then take you as property. This is commanded by God, mind you. 1 Samuel 15, verses 1 through 9. God tells the Israelites to kill all of the Amalekites, men, women, children, infants, babies. Can you imagine killing a baby? For something that the Amalekite ancestors had done 400 years prior to the command. In Joshua, chapter 10, verses 10 through 11, God helps the Israelites slaughter the Amorites by sword, and then finishes them off with rocks from the sky. Not a whole lot of people
Actually, if I may, I'd like to read it. Go ahead.
It's in 2 Kings chapter 2, verses 23 through 24. And I'm curious, Aaron, what is the moral lesson of this? Okay. It describes Elijah, and he's been wandering around making prophesying and advocating for Jehovah. And the verse reads, "And then he went up thence unto Bethel." So he goes to Bethel. "And as he was going up, there came forth little children out of the city of Bethel. And these children mocked him and said unto him, Go up, thou bald head, go up, thou bald head." So they're basically teasing him for being bald. "And he turned around and looked on them, and cursed them in the name of the Lord. And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the wood, and they tore 42 of the youths apart." So, if you insult God's prophets, he sends bears after you, even if you're children.
First, but I just now thought of it. People often say nowadays that if God would show himself to them, then they would believe in him. Well, see, the fact is, you might believe in him, but you wouldn't actually follow him. You see, back in the Bible days when I was going on, God did all these things so that people would see that he existed. He sent meteors crashing down on cities to prove to people that he existed from these glorious, miraculous things that were happening. Now, while God did all this, people, obviously killed people in his name. Now, those were ways of showing people that he existed. Now, I know that's kind of a weird way, but I'm not God. I don't make the rules. So, how about we just kind of change the subject? We've got 15 minutes till we get on questions from the viewers. Got interested.